Hi everyone. I'd like to start by thanking all the channel viewers, subscribers that have posted so many encouraging messages. And all I can say is I'm deeply appreciative. I thank you from my heart, and I will do my best going forward in terms of what I can contribute. In regard to the title of the video, was there cheating? Truth is, I don't know yet. I simply don't have the real world data or the astrological insight, although I'm continuing to look. And one thing that I do know from the astrology perspective is that when planets station to go retrograde or direct, they're called planetary stations, this is when things happen, things turn, you get new developments. And I think this is probably the wisest course of action for all of us, meaning we have to tune in to when these stations happen. And one of these is the Saturn station, which is already here by next week, by Friday. We're almost there. So we're definitely in territory where things could be revealed. New energies can enter the scene, so to speak. And then we have the Mercury retrograde station, which is on the 21st. And then when we go further into December, early December, 6th, 7th, you've got Mars stationing, going retrograde, and Neptune stationing, going direct. So there are lots and lots of doorways, so to speak, where the energy can move and new things can develop, and then we're more likely than not to learn about what is going on. So far, the one pattern I have definitely found is that what there was that was, pretty much we have to say without question, a form of election manipulation for sure, is that the right wing in this country was very effective at manipulating the message. You need only look at the fact that someone like Elon Musk took over Twitter, turned it into a propaganda machine, and flooded the zone with constant messages, including probably Russia being involved. I mean, you're certainly talking with Putin. This aspect of it was definitely manipulated. You can add to that the social media outlets that are on the right are a lot more prevalent and more powerful than on the left. Other than so-called mainstream media, there is very little support for the progressive agenda on social media. You've got Pod Save America and a couple of others, but they're actually not nearly as impactful as the Joe Rogans of the world, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro. They're relentlessly pounding the message in support of all the negativity that we're bringing in. And you have to realize that these elections often shift through those voters that are the least informed, perhaps maybe even the most prejudiced. And so they're not going to understand the situation as well as the more informed voters. And this might be enough to explain why so many people broke in the direction of Trump. Now, I realize that there's the question of, people refer to them as missing votes, but we have yet to establish that. They're either missing votes or they're that people didn't vote, and that wouldn't be the first time. This has happened before. The electorate can be incredibly fickle that way. Either way, this is something that, yes, it's yet to be discovered. Do I think there was cheating? It's possible, no question. Now it has to be established. And that certainly isn't going to be me, other than keeping my eye out for what I'm seeing in news outlets that I trust, people that I trust, to see if there's something that is going on. To give you an example, There are some really smart people on the Democratic side, like Mark Elias, lots of other lawyers. There are a lot of never-Trumpers that are super sharp, Rick Wilson, Tim Miller, the people at Midas Touch, and so on. And if there is something, it will surface. And the astrology helps you in the sense that look for those stations. Things happen on stations. The impact is always there. Case in point, back in late June, Biden-Trump debate, that shifted the race. There was an attempt on Trump's life. I mean, that's what happens in stations. So we just have to see. And you don't have to wait a whole lot here, too, because we're now going to be in one station after another from mid-November into mid-December. And this is a critical period, obviously, because this is when the situation moves to some kind of certification or not. The inauguration period is later, and there's a station in January as well, but I suspect we're going to get probably the key information now over the next 30 days. So in the meantime, I urge everyone to be patient in that sense and try to stay as calm as possible, because it doesn't do you any good to get too worked up and too upset. For one thing, it doesn't feel good, and for another, it doesn't lead to great things. I always notice that the more I can remain as balanced as possible, the more likely I am to get the guidance that I need. All right, that's all for now. I will follow up with more information.